What up, you guys? The Amazon Druid here on my first YouTube video. I'm going to be showing you guys today my personal collection of reptiles. I have been working reptiles since I was a kid. I'm from South America, very close to the Amazons. I've traveled there a bunch of times and I've been used to handling animals since I could walk. So I hope you guys enjoy and you like the content that's about to come. Alright, so we're going to start here with my newest edition actually. Here we have Maximilian. He is a frilled dragon or frill-necked lizard, especially coming from New Guinea. Unlike the Australian version, these guys get much smaller and they do keep this pattern. They don't go completely dark. He's pretty chill, pretty awesome. You'll never actually see him like open his frill just because he just is never in a bad mood and never feels threatened by anything. He's pretty much chill. I can just put him here and he would just stay there because in his mind, the idea is to look like a stick, so he can camouflage. They will just stay like that vertically on his sticks and everything, and you won't be able to actually notice him. Right, buddy? Alright, so from Max, we're gonna move right down here where I have a boa constrictor imperatus, a Colombian reptile boa. She is my little female, which I got a few months back. Let's see. It's starting to grow pretty quickly. These boas can get, female will get up to like 6 to 7 feet. Very thick, very beautiful. I specialize with boas because I've been, the boa constrictor was my first snake. I caught one in the wild when I was back in Venezuela, which is my home country. And now I just love working with them, whatever size, whatever type of boa it is. I just make sure that I spend enough time with them so they can, be this chill. A lot of the times boas, when they're little, they tend to hiss a lot, but that goes away with handling. With most of the animals, whatever time you spend giving them the attention, they'll pretty much mellow down to be really nice puppies. Yes, baby, you are. Reptile boas have this name because of the beautiful pattern that they have on the back of the tail. Right, you have that orange color. Colombian boas tend to have a little bit more of an orange, unlike other species like BCCs, which are the common boas, or what people call them the true red tails. They're simply just darker snakes, and the pattern down here would look extremely red compared to this girl right here. But yeah, this is Amaranta. She is only a few months old. I would say about 6-7 months old. She'll be getting pretty big soon. She's gonna start fattening them up. Yes, you are. Take a look at that. Take a look at that face. Gorgeous. Alright, so we're gonna put you back here. With all my animals, I like to, for people that come in here and just like check in the room and stuff, I like to put their name right at the top, and then just put their actual scientific name down there. And if they just want to know the common name of the animal, I can just, explain it. Alright, so our next animal is a Peter Bandit skink. This is quite of an unusual reptile to have nowadays, just because they have been in the pet trade in America for about 2 years or so. They're not fairly common. This guy comes all the way, he's a Walcott, coming all the way from south of the Saharan Desert. They burrow underground. As you can see, I have a combination of 2 sands and a few hides for him to go, but most of the time he would just like dig under and be completely invisible in there. I feed him beetles because somebody actually surrendered this guy. They bought it at a convention and they didn't like the fact that he was not eating properly. He was already an adult. This guy hasn't been around for like a few months only. Just because of the fact that they're wild caught, most of the times that you have a wild caught animal, there will be adults. You don't get any babies. Right now I'm feeding him on beetles. He's not wanting to eat crickets or worms or anything. Just because, he's used to his regular diet being over there of desert beetles and stuff like that. Some very small arthropods. This guy's pretty awesome. He's super chill. For being a wild-caught animal, being this chill is extremely, extremely awesome. And I know that soon this is going to be a pet that everybody's going to want to have. because people love the blue tongue skinks and they love all those fire skinks and stuff, and these guys actually much better than them. And that's what I believe, just because his temperament is so nice and he's so cute. Take a look at that face. His name is Jagger, just because he's always on the move. You know it. And the blue sand that he has there is a Reptile blue sand that has calcium on it. It does stain a little bit, but there's no problem with that. It's just a little dust powder that gets on it. Alright. So all the way down here, we have a male ball python. It's just a regular morph ball python. This was actually my first reptile here in America. Somebody from school, because I got him back when I was in high school, had a sister who had him, and she went to college and she didn't want to take care of him because she couldn't take him to the actual school. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna get into snakes again. So soon, I was waiting to get off school until I started getting my animals, but I said, if the opportunity is here, why not? He is now about 5 years old. Beautiful male. This is actually how I started my animal Instagram, was calling him Maui's Cave TV because of this guy. His name is Maui, after the movie Moana. That's about the time that he got to my life, which was now like 3 years ago maybe. He's pretty chill, pretty awesome. Most of the animals are super chill. I think it's just the energy that I'm always like trying to give to them. You know, they react to that love and to that affection of mine. So I don't really have any animal that's, you know, aggressive in a sense. Some of them don't like to be touched as much as others, but he's a great example of what you can do with a snake. Fun fact about ball pythons, I don't hear people say it that much. Internationally, they're actually called royal pythons, just because they're believed to be, they were used by the ancient Egyptians to be worn as like jewelry, you know, so they would just add them to the collection of jewelries and stuff, which is why most ball pythons are so chill. They have been around humans for a very long time, if you really think about it. So yeah, most people just call them ball pythons here in America, just for the fact that their defensive mechanism is, as soon as they feel threatened, they'll curl up into a ball and hide their face away from the predator. But yeah, let's get this guy back to his house. Soon he's gonna be moved into a bigger tank. Right now this is just a retainment tank. He has grown a lot more since I got him. I got him in this tank right here, and he was just fine. But as you can see, he's starting to outgrow that. So, for a male, he's very big. He's actually like the size of a female, but not the thickness of one, if that makes any sense. And that's because he eats like a champ all the time. For future reference, I don't know if I'll ever be doing any feeding videos of my animals, just because I like everything to be as natural as possible. So all my snakes, for example, they eat off live, and you know, everybody has their opinions about it. It's just the way I do it. It just makes it natural for them, makes it natural for me, and as long as they're happy and okay with it, I'm fine with it as well. I work with rodents, and I know at times it can be like, oh, that's mean or whatever. You know, it's part of nature, and rodents do multiply a lot, very quickly. So, you know, it's just something that I do. Which is exactly why I won't be doing any snake feeding videos, but everybody else will be fed on a different video so you guys can see. Alright, so here we have more rescues. These guys, some baby bearded dragons that I rescued from somebody that tried to breed bearded dragons, and then they were actually successful at it, but then they didn't have the time, or they didn't know the right care for them to be in. So these guys, when they're very little, they started nipping on each other's limbs and tails, and as you can see, it's pretty awful and pretty sad. But You know, right now they're growing. They're a little crazy, but they're growing. They're getting better. They get a proper nutrition, proper UVB, proper heating, everything. I have them in a small tank right now just to, you know, check on them all the time, but soon they're going to be moving into a bigger tank so they can start getting up to that size. Because, fun fact, is bearded dragons, similarly to fish, they will actually lower how fast they'll grow depending on how big the terrarium is. So if I were to have this exact tank with only one, they will grow much faster. So since they're all four in one single tank like this, it has taken them a while to actually get up to size. But soon they're going to be moving into something bigger anyway, so I don't worry about it. They have clean water, they have food, they have everything. They eat their greens every day, their insects every other day. They do mealworms, they do crickets, they do roaches. I give them some super hornworm treats and stuff. So I know, as long as they're chubby and they're happy and they're active, they're good to go. So right here we have Venomous Alley where I keep my arachnids. Which right now I don't have many of them, but I do have a nice collection with a nice variety for them. Alright, here we go. So this is a collection of arachnids that I have. Right here is Imhotep, which is a burrowing scorpion. All these guys, all the scorpions that I have are from desert. Look at this guy. Pretty awesome. He's trying to grip onto my finger. And if he actually does it, it's gonna hurt. I know I will. These guys are venomous, all of the arachnids that I have. It's just that their venom is not potent enough to actually kill a human. It is gonna hurt. It's gonna itch, and it might, in the worst case scenario, to just give me a fever or something like that, but it pretty much is. Wow, guys. This is an amazing example to put on the video right now. Here we have Circuit, my Emperor Scorpion, and his beautiful shed. Wow, we just get that very nice ebony color. And as you can see, his stinger is completely white. If you can see from this side, that's because he hasn't gotten the color yet. And there you got beautiful shed. He is a little bit aggressive. I would say my most aggressive scorpion, but that's just his personality. Since I got him, he was very little, and I said, "Oh, he's just scared." Nah, that's just the way he is and the way he's gonna be. Now here we go, my girl. This is Dara. This is a flat rock scorpion from Africa. Come on, baby, don't pinch me. Like I said, most of the time they'll use their pinchers as a defense mechanism rather than sting you, just because their venom is not too potent, so they know that it won't really hurt you. But they do have those strong claws where they can just grip onto you and it will hurt a lot. This is a female. She's about 2, maybe 3 years old right now. I got her and she was already an adult, just a little bit thinner than this. She's actually very sweet. You can actually pet her and everything, and she's just fine. Just have to make sure with them that, you know, you don't really hurt them, that they're not gonna run away, and as long as you don't do that, they're fine. I don't handle my scorpions or my tarantulas as much, just because I feel like when it comes to arachnids, they should be left alone. That's part of the care, you know, part of getting them to like you is literally not bothering them. Now this is where I love what I have. Pterinopelma sacimai. This is a Brazilian species of tarantula. This is called a Brazilian blue. Now this baby right here, which molted about 2 days ago, I believe, she will get probably about the size of my hand, and she will get a beautiful bright blue color. And then the back on the abdomen, which is the back side, will get those very red sort of colory like hairs on it, so she very much will look like Spider-Man in its colors. Now I am hoping for a male, but we don't know at the moment. When she molted, it was too tiny to even check. But in the future, we will see that. Hopefully for a male, just because those guys are pretty awesome and they get that really red on the abdomen. And here we have a Brachypelma obopilasum, or a curly-haired tarantula. This is a female. She's actually right in the bamboo, right in there. I don't know if you guys can see her. Maybe I can accommodate this a little bit. She does flick hairs at times, just when she's being handled too quickly. And the reason why I'm not taking her out is because I don't want to freak her out, and because she has a beautiful webbing across the floor. These guys are terrestrial, so they web on the ground just to mark their territory, rather than arboreal species that you tend to see the nice webbing at the top and the whole white. This is just a very, very thin, silky sort of web that goes on the ground just to mark and say, hey, this is my home. So if another tarantula were to come in here and feel that and know it's not their web, they'll know to stay away. Alright, so coming from up here, we have Anouket. She's an albino Okiti corn snake. Very beautiful corn snake. She's a female. She's getting very, very long at the moment. I remember when I first got her, which was about 2 years ago. I brought her home in my pocket. I have one of those collar shirts, and I just brought her home in my pocket, and I just stuck it out and showed it, and she was about this long. No joke. From that to this, wow. She was so little, I could still, she was transparent. Literally, you could just hold her up like this, and you could see all the insides of her. It was quite beautiful. She was actually a little bit more pinkish than this. She's getting a very, very nice color, though. She's not mean at all. She doesn't try to bite. She's always been a sweetie. I love her for that. So right here's baby Peach. Beautiful, beautiful sulcata tortoise. I mean, again, we call him her Peach, so we don't really know the gender for now. Once she grows, we'll be able to tell. This is the third largest species of tortoises in the world. She'll get huge and very, very, very heavy. These guys they're like little bulldozers. They have the little spikes that will grow with them on the shell when they're older. And then if they ever feel threatened or something, they'll just ram into it. Just go straight for it and just hit it. It's incredible. For an adult like this, now you want them to be very nice. Just because, you know, you don't want your ankle to be broken by one of these guys, you know? Pretty beautiful. Take a look at that face. Alright, so here we have Jade. This is another rescue that I have. This is a green iguana, very tiny baby green iguana that I have here. So you can see, she's wild caught. You can tell how fast moving she is and how she's not used to me yet. We're working through it. At my job, I just train iguanas most of the time. I train iguanas just like I train snakes. There you go, baby. Come on, relax. With most lizards, if you put your thumb on top, you just place it. You don't crush, you don't press, you don't anything. You just place it on top. It will relax and chill out. Almost all lizards do that. Just a matter of grabbing them well and just placing your thumb on their head like that. They'll just relax. Now this girl is a rescue because we found her in a neighborhood. Yeah, this tiny. And sadly here in Florida, they just announced a new law where they encourage everybody to kill an iguana on sight, which to me was heartbreaking because the city exactly where I'm from, there's iguanas everywhere. It's actually what they call a garden city, and iguanas are actually our animal. And I don't know, I just don't think that just killing an animal for fun like this, it's okay, you know? I do encourage consumption of the animal if you were to euthanize him, just because at least it will serve a bigger purpose than just dying for no reason. But anyways, we just decided to rescue some of these animals, relocate them, and I just kept this little baby because I think she's completely gorgeous. She has a beautiful green pattern with some black here and some blue bands on the sides. Just very common of green iguanas, but never seen a baby this bright. They're usually a little bit dimmer. Now again, we're hoping for a female, but we can't sex it yet because, you know, it's just too tiny for now. And yeah, she eats her greens. She does very well. She's getting used to me slowly, and I think she's gonna be really awesome. Maybe a channel ambassador in the future. Right, Mama? Let's put you back. Now, some of these animals don't necessarily have heating at the moment. A lot of them, like the corn snake and some other snakes and her, they don't have heating at the moment just because I like to keep my room during the day usually about 87 to 89 degrees, which is pretty hot, but I'm just used to it. And at night it will drop down to at least 78, which is a good day and night cycle for everybody. Whatever desert animal I have, like this Okada, a little Maximilian here, and the dragons, they do have the external heat source just because they need the UVV. They need a higher heat temperature, like a temperature for it, usually for about like some of them for 105, some of them for 115 degrees, and that's something that I really can't do. Otherwise, you know, I wouldn't last a day in here. But yeah, just in case you guys were wondering why some of the animals have lighting or heating and some others don't, this room stays very, very warm. At night, everything is turned off, and they just all sleep in anywhere between 75 and 78, which is a good temperature for the night. For whatever African species and tropical species we have, that's usually what it stays outside for. So the next two animals are sort of rescues, sort of wild caught, sort of everything a little bit, I would guess. They're both very, very aggressive. They're not part of my collection per se. For example, this is a southern black racer. It's a baby, which I'm trying to figure out what happened to it. She has a little bite marks and stuff on it, which I'm just trying to cure for a minute, you know, just so she can be okay. And as soon as she's fine, I will release her into the wild again. Now this little thing loves to nip. Here we have, she doesn't have her colorations yet. She's still with that red and gray color on it. She'll get very, very dark. She'll get all black, which is what they're called, the southern black racers. Now their name has to do with the fact that they're the fastest species in the US. This girl is native here. I found her in an empty building. She was just alone, sort of like hurt. She has a little bite marks here. I'm hoping she doesn't lose the tail or anything. I keep treating her for it. Hopefully she'll be fine. She's been with me for less than a week now. I'm hoping to feed her and for her to actually be able to eat. If I see that she's not eating, I might wait for another week, keep treating her, and then sadly will have to let her go. The bigger purpose here is just to let her go when she's completely fine, but if she doesn't want to eat with me, there's nothing I can do. Wild animals can be this way, and if they're not eating, they will starve themselves to death if they're too nervous in their environment. So if I see that she's not eating or anything, then I'm gonna have to let her go before time. She is a little mean at times, more scared than anything. She'll try to like bite me if I bother her too much, but it really just doesn't hurt at all. Her teeth are so small at the moment that they don't even penetrate the skin. I don't bleed or anything. So yeah, that's this baby here. And then the next animal, which will be the last one for the video here, it's somebody's that didn't want him anymore because he was very, very aggressive. I try to handle him, and right now he's in a quarantine period, which is why he's in something like this. As you can see, there's nothing in there. It's because it's a fire skink. And like the Peter Bandit skink, they will just go underground and live there. And all I have right here is just water, and I mist down every day. And then I just drop in the food. He goes for it, but you never see him, not during the day, not during the night. You'll have to put your hand in there and actually handle him. And I've been trying to work with him, but he doesn't seem to understand that humans are just okay to be around with. He bites, and like alligators, he will just pinch on you and just start smacking everywhere and hitting you with the tail. It's sort of like a toki gecko, and it's just really, really painful. It will shred your skin apart. I still have some marks from some of the times that I worked with him, and I don't think I'm going to be able to show him today, but definitely on future videos he will be featured, because he's a really beautiful creature. He has a really sweet face. Sadly, there's something about him that he might be wild caught, which is the reason why he's not really adaptable. I mean, most fire skinks don't really get nice with time or anything. They just get meaner and meaner, and since they're little creatures until they're adults, they will just try to bite at anything. If you try to, handle them or anything, they'll escape, and if you actually catch one, then they will straight go for you, bite you, and it's gonna hurt a lot. The older it is and the bigger it is, the stronger the jaws get. So yeah, we'll see how he does. We'll see what we do. This is not an animal we can release in the wild, which is why soon he's going to be moving into a bigger enclosure when he's done into quarantine, and he's just going to have a very nice setup. And even if I don't see him, that's okay. As long as he's happy and he doesn't get bothered by anybody, I'm fine, just the same way he will be. Alright, you guys, so Max and I are out here just to say goodbye. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be doing a bunch of other videos talking about each one of these animals and their diet, talking about where they're from, talking about how to take care of them, talking about everything. I'm going to be doing some in the place I volunteer, the sanctuary I volunteer. I'm going to be doing some videos in the reptile shop that I work at, so you guys are going to be seeing a lot of animals, a lot of different species, a lot of everything. Doesn't matter what you have at home, I'll be able to tell you exactly how to take care of him or her, so they can be super happy and you can be happy with your exotic pet. You want to say bye, Maximilian? I think he's fine. Just make sure you guys like the video and subscribe, share with some friends. And we'll see you next time.